So being nice has invisible benefits that I think most people don't understand, and I want to talk about that. So many times that you're thinking about is that, the benefits of being nice, the benefits of being a good person. Most of us sort of think about, life in terms of the short term. If I am aggressive, if I sort of push forward at something, if I, really extract as much value as I can out of this particular opportunity, then I'm going to benefit from it. And that is true, right? That in the short term, that does happen. And if you're aggressive, you're, kind of jerky, that you can gain a lot of benefit from it, that you can extract value from this exchange. But what you're looking at and what people don't understand is that there is long-run costs to this behavior. And that is not obvious up front. And so what are these long-run costs? The first cost I think about is opportunities that don't come your way. It's because that, what you have to remember is people like to go back to people that they actually like. They like people that they resonate with. They like this sort of long-term, relationships over time. And if you extract value from all of the relationship that you get, that people are going to be left with a bad taste in their mouth, and they're never going to want to work with you again. And they might sort of present this information to other people, which excludes you out of possible opportunities in the future. Now, this is why it's invisible. You cannot possibly know what those opportunities are because they don't necessarily exist right now. The only way that you could possibly measure that is to go 25 years in advance and sort of track, or 25 years from now, and track all of the moments where somebody said, that person is okay, but this happened to me and I would not recommend them. Or this particular thing happened to me and I'm nervous about interacting with them again. It's important to remember that in that sort of moment, that sort of hesitation that happens, that's not trackable in any sort of way. That's really hard to track in any possible way. And that sticks with people in terms of those interactions for a long time. So that's the first thing, that those costs of being aggressive are not easily observable. Those costs of sort of extracting value right up the get-go without thinking about everybody else in that circumstance and being kind of aggressive and kind of jerky, that's there to stay. And that is something that you can't observe because it's opportunities that you never get presented, you never see in the future. And you can't measure that. You cannot measure those opportunities. There's no way that's going to happen. The second sort of major cost that people don't think about is that has a long-run impact on you as a person, in a very real sense, in like healthcare outcomes, in terms of how you feel about yourself, like all of those kind of things. That aggressive behavior, you unless you're very narcissistic, and that is like true, that this might be, there's lots of people that have personality traits of all different kinds, but that sticks with you as being a not so nice person, and you might identify yourself as being a not so nice kind of person, and that, as far as I would consider it, I obviously am not looked up the research on this because it's hard to do, but that would have long-term health consequences. At least knowing that you're being more aggressive than other people, and that you're sort of extracting value from this. The last thing to think about is that your world, the way that you see your world, is kind of what you make it. In the sense that when you're older, you want to look back and say, hey, wait a minute, did I do everything where, if given the benefit of the doubt, could I have done things better? Would I have felt any better in this circumstance. Now, if you don't have a moral compass and you don't really think about other people in any sort of way, then you probably will never sort of understand this in any sort of way. And there's lots of people like that, whether it being because of their traits or, social circumstance, all those kind of things. But, if you are in that circumstance where you do have this, and at least for me, I have a really strong conscience. I look back and I sort of question all of those moments. Did I do the right thing? Is that who I am? So for those of us who do have a strong social conscience, and you look back and you feel that sort of not so nice feeling, it's actually a really good thing to do. Now, what you have to realize is not everybody is like that, and they will have their own, when it comes to their time, they'll have that sort of their own judgment, I guess, right? And sort of religiously speaking, they'll sort of think about it their own life. But for you, if you're sort of teetering on, should I be an aggressive jerk or not? Just think about that. How do you want to view yourself when you're in the future? And we all have sort of these moments. And those people that are really aggressive and they're really mean, they're not going to listen to any of this stuff anyways. So I'm not talking to them. I'm talking about the people that are sort of on the fence and they're kind of getting a little bit frustrated with, their circumstance. They think that other people are getting ahead. But you got to realize that it's a long run play when you do this. And it's about the short run versus long run. And that long run is a long time. It's not a decade. It's probably a couple of decades. Maybe it's 3 decades by the time anything actually pans out. And if it doesn't, this is the thing. If it doesn't, this is where I want you to think about, like, as you as a person, right? Let's say you gain no benefit from being nice, and you gain no benefit from, helping out other people in any sort of way, which I doubt it, because that's actually how you make opportunities. You be nice to other people. But, if you're not, and you look back and you think, wait a minute, maybe I should have in those circumstances, that carries with you for a long time. At least it does for me. And any of those moments where I wasn't nice, if I didn't give a little bit of extra, they come back to me. And they kind of, I think about them a lot. And if you're anything like me, maybe you're not, but maybe you are. If you're anything like me, I don't want to be haunted by that stuff in the future. I want to know that I tried as best as I could and still got to the result that I got to. Because I don't want to get to the moment where I'm going to second guess and I'm going to have regrets and all those kind of things. But I want to minimize that as much as I can. So when I look back, I said, hey, wait a minute. I'm okay with who I am. And compounding all of that up, if I'm not any farther ahead, in fact, I'm behind, quote unquote behind. I didn't really gain anything. In fact, I probably lost a bunch of resources in the effort. I want to look back and say, I did everything I could. And I tried to make the world a better place by living here. That's all I have. I'm only here for a very short time. And because I'm here for a very short time, I tried to make the world a little bit of a better place. And if I didn't, well, that's fine. And if it went negative since I was here, well, that's fine too. But at least I know my intention, the way that I was thinking about was I was trying to make the world a better place. And that's all that matters at the end of the day, is that you're actually trying. That's it. So I think collectively, if we all try to make the world a better place, and I know that's very rose-colored glasses, because I know a lot of people are not like that, but if we collectively try to do that, then things kind of move in an incremental way. But if you're the one person that did that, and you reached out to one person and changed their world and helped them out, then you got to remember that if that did happen, you changed that one person's life in a positive way. That's all that matters. That one person that you're reaching out to and reminding them that they're a good person, reminding them of, what it takes just to be nice, be patient, all those kind of things. I think that's a life worth living. And And I think about that all the time. I think about coming back to that. So why do I do the things that I do? And it comes down to trying to make the world a little bit better since I've been here. And if I could do that, I think that's really cool. And if I could do that with one person, that's the best. But if there's more than one person that's affected, that's just icing on the cake. So that's all I think about. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. All right, bye.